Vince McMahon, the chairman of WWE, had a historic interview today with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee Show, where he announced that he will be inducting The Undertaker into the WWE Hall of Fame. Plus, we have some more backstage details on last night's huge announcement from Tony Khan's purchase of Ring of Honor. And WWE announces today the tryouts ahead of WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas. It's the top story of the day here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. Make sure you hit the like button or you stay. Here we go.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
It's Sportskeeda Wrestling's top story of the day. It is 6:30 in the afternoon. What's up, everyone? It's Jose G here and Jeremy Bennett bringing you the top headlines of the day. And today was a big one with Vince McMahon having a historic interview, his first in-studio, in-person interview with someone in the media in 15 years with Pat McAfee today on the Pat McAfee Show. I thought it was a great interview. Actually, the show went over time. The show was supposed to be over. It's about 3 hours. It starts at 12 Eastern and usually ends around 3. And they went 40 minutes over. And I thought that was really cool of Vince McMahon to just kind of dive in and just have a really candid conversation with Pat McAfee. We got to find out a little bit more of the plans now for WrestleMania 38 with Vince McMahon giving Pat McAfee an opportunity to wrestle at the grandest stage of them all. Looks like we're not going to get that angle that everybody in the internet was talking about, but maybe we'll see what happens. But Jeremy, let's talk about the big news of this interview, and that is that Vince McMahon will be inducting The Undertaker into this year's WWE Hall of Fame. Huge news, ain't that?
Yeah, I would say unless Paul Bearer was still alive, this is probably the next best person to induct him into the Hall of Fame. Undertaker has been basically the WWE soldier, the workhorse, ever since he arrived on the scene in 1990, 1991. He did not defect to WCW when it was a popular thing to do. He stuck with the company. He even kind of probably helped Vince save the company when the Attitude Era came up. Outside of Kane, I would say Vince McMahon is the best choice. I think he's better than Kane to induct someone into the WWE Hall of Fame. And as for the Pat McAfee Show, man, it was tremendous. It was a great interview. I got to catch most of it. I'll probably go back and rewatch it, though. I had to go to work towards the end of it, but I still was able to have it on. So I still was able to catch the majority of it. But overall, it was a tremendous interview.
Yes, I agree. I think this interview was very enlightening to those who view Vince McMahon in a certain light because of everything that he's portrayed on TV. Completely different when he's off that character. There's still some of that essence of that character in there, but he doesn't like praise, right? He doesn't like people thanking
right.
him. He
Don't
doesn't
pat
like
him on the back.
he doesn't like giving people giving him compliments, which is very telling. And one thing that really resonated with me, as not only as a creator, but also as a business owner myself, is I don't pay attention to what everybody else thinks, right? I'm focused on my product. I'm focused on how I can make this company better. I'm focused on the viewers, on what's captivating the viewers and the people in the WWE universe. And he doesn't pay attention to the noise of the internet. He doesn't pay attention to what the media are saying. And that's why he's so successful, because if he was paying attention to all those guys the entire time, he probably would not be carrying WWE to the way it is right now. So this was a really great interview. We got to hear some details about him squatting 1,000 pounds once a month, which is absolutely insane to me for a 76-year-old. This interview was just absolutely tremendous. If you guys have not checked it out, check it on the Pat McAfee Show on YouTube. It's available there right now. You guys may need to scroll a few hours ahead to get to the interview, but I'm sure they'll cut that down and get that full interview up. But it was a tremendous interview. Any other hot takes that you got from that interview, Jeremy?
I I was looking at Denise Salcedo's Twitter feed. She said over 71,000 people were concurrently watching that live. That's going to be an insane number once that jumps up for sure. There was so much to take out of it. I mean, it was pretty cool. Vince dropping F-bombs, dropping S-bombs. He would Pat wanted to wrap it up. Vince said didn't want to wrap it up. I thought that was interesting. I think that shows a lot of how much he just thinks of Pat McAfee and how much he values Pat McAfee. It was interesting that he was the one that went to bat for Pat wearing those shorts at WrestleMania where Michael Cole was getting all in him. Of course, obviously now, you know, the relationship between Michael Cole and Pat McAfee is completely different than it was at that WrestleMania when he was representing NXT on the pre-show and whatnot. You know, obviously they've got a much better relationship now, and Michael Cole even credits Pat McAfee for basically reinvigorating his career, giving him a new direction, a new light in the business, and he has a lot to say about that. Just checked about 36 minutes ago, Pat McAfee's show just search for the Pat McAfee Show. The entire hour and 24-minute long interview in its entirety by itself is up by itself, so you don't have to fast forward through the whole show. It is there, so you can go check that whole interview out. Some other things from it. Pat brought up AEW, and Vince said, you know, I'm not afraid of it. I relish the confrontation. I relish the competition. That was another thing that was kind of
I loved how he responded to that. He's like, I love confrontation. I'm a confrontational person. I love it. I thrive in it. That was very telling of, especially when he brought up AEW. And the cool thing is that he didn't even knock anything about AEW. He didn't even like mention anything derogatory about them, because the question wasn't about that. The question was about competition. And WWE's best years was when they had direct competition. And now with the and this is so cool about Pat McAfee, that he is so in tune with what's going on in today's wrestling that he mentioned AEW's purchase of Ring of Honor. Vince McMahon acknowledged that, like he acknowledged the fact that that's going on. But to answer Pat McAfee's question, you know, when at the end of the day, he's a confrontational person. Doesn't matter who it is. He thrives in it, and he does really well in competition when he's under that pressure. So
I liked
very cool interview.
I liked why they brought up Michael Cole, and Vince like, he's a horrible human being.
Horrible human being.
What a horrible human being. God, well, there's something I'm probably missing, but yeah, I don't know.
It's a dive deep in. I wish this interview would have been longer. An hour and 20, I don't think was enough, but for you guys, this is a treat. We don't get to see a sit down interview with Vince McMahon, and we do sometimes where we think that is going to be a work. That wasn't the case in here. This was a genuine interview, and I loved it, and I loved every single the dynamic between McMahon and Pat McAfee was great, and the conversation was great. So. Again, guys, check it out. It's on YouTube, the Pat McAfee Show, and on the Twitter right now. Flower is available there. But there are other pieces of news that we got to get into, because last night we had a tremendous piece of news drop that Tony Khan has purchased Ring of Honor. Last night during the debrief, myself and Rico, we kind of dove into the Fightful Select report that Sean Ross Sapp had dropped right after the announcement and some of the details. But look, it looks like we got a little bit more details here. What do we know here, Jeremy?
Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio.
Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave. He noted that the deal was put together 2 weeks ago, and the following day when Khan started dropping hints. Both AEW and WWE were contacted regarding the sale. But obviously Tony Khan put together the better offer than Nick Khan. The tape library was mentioned as being important to AEW, and the company does want a streaming service in some form. Of course, we reported yesterday on Top Story that HBO Live is going to indeed add a live component to their streaming platform with the soccer deal they just signed. Ring of Honor is their old footage. Of course, you got 20 years of old footage. It's something that can help them add content to that streaming service if it is going to be on HBO Max or if they do something on their own. Of course, none of that has been really known yet or not. Ring of Honor actually owned the footage for All In, AEW's first pay-per-view. So that was kind of interesting to see.
I think I had a question yesterday on our chat if AEW is now going to change their All Out pay-per-view to All In since they own Ring of Honor.
I don't know. Now they've got All Out established for a couple of years now. I don't know. It's hard to tell. All In was kind of a thing that, basically was just a moniker for what the EVPs were going to do at the time. And so I don't know. They may not go back to that just because they've been doing All Out for a while. It was not believed that WWE would have run Ring of Honor as a separate brand. However, when the company was hot in 2018, WWE did make a pitch. Obviously, the company was hot because of a lot of those guys that started AEW. Bullet Club was hot. Cody Rhodes was hot as a heel. He had a tremendous program with Jay Lethal back then when Cody was a heel. There were talks. There was a pitch that Triple H wanted to buy the company in 2018. It went nowhere. Vince wanted to buy somebody bigger, and WWE ended up trying to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom, and Pro Wrestling Noah. So WWE, Vince tried to own Japan basically, which is insane. They also tried to buy AAA as well, but
imagine if he would have succeeded.
My God,
holy crap, dude.
Let's see. In a press release, Tony Khan spoke about acquiring the library, saying that Ring of Honor's influence on modern professional wrestling is etched permanently in the history books, and the acquisition ensures that its legacy is kept alive and treated with the utmost respect. And then I don't know if this is the same report. PW Insider reported that WWE was also interested in purchasing the company as well. This is a little more insight into the WWE side of things from PW Insider. That was back in December when WWE and ROH had some talks. They just ended without a deal being made. This was not the first time, of course, that they've spoken on a deal, as I just mentioned previously. And that the sale has been described by bittersweet by some people on the ROH side, as some feel like this was but some feel this is the right thing for long-term viability of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting story. I think this is definitely a game changer just because of the content library that Ring of Honor has and the viability now that AEW has to get into its streaming service.
Did you guys talk about Cassidy Haynes' report on the debrief? I know he had an exclusive.
I did not. No, we we talked about the Fightful Select report.
Okay, so Cassidy Haynes also had some exclusives on this whole thing and reported that AEW is intending to use Ring of Honor as a developmental territory of sorts. AEW talent will be featured on the Ring of Honor brand at times. Khan paid around $30 to $40 million for the deal. And that is roughly it there from Cassidy.
That's what he made. That's what he made in one Saudi Arabia show.
Right.
So the investment pay, if WWE would have gotten that, WWE would have paid the investment with one Saudi show.
Yeah, and of course, a couple of guys that have been integral to Ring of Honor commented on the deal as well. Kerry Silkin, of course, a major part of Ring of Honor, said, "Congrats to Tony Khan and AEW. At least I feel my baby is in good hands. What a long, strange trip it's been." Then Gabe Sapolsky, who helped found Ring of Honor and then went on to run Evolve and worked for the WWE for a short amount of time too, said, "Here's how Ring of Honor started. It was announced as a monthly indie mail order catalog for a video company. I never dreamed that 20 years later it'd be featured on a prominent Red Hot Wrestling show on TBS. I'm very happy that many more will now enjoy the legacy Ring of Honor, and it'll continue to blaze a path in the world of pro wrestling. Congratulations to Tony Khan on becoming the new owner. I normally give a pro tip in my Instagram post, and all I will say here is never limit yourself at anything is possible in life. It means so much to me that this little indie darling from 2002 will forge forward in 2022 and continue to build community while bringing entertainment to the fans."
Yeah, and just like Christian Gonzalez watching us on Facebook here saying, so is ROH going to be like AEW's NXT? Pretty much. I mean, according to Cassidy Bynes' is a report on bodyslam.net, that's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it, but I think at the same time, you're going to probably still see some major players still be there. You're still going to have a Ring of Honor World Championship. Jonathan Gresham's going to be the one defending that. Now, trust me, the Briscoes are going to probably be in AEW a lot because everybody wants to see them in FTW feud. Everybody wants to see them in the Bucks clash, even though that's happened before. But the FTW thing has never happened. So that is something that is, and they've been in each other's mouths. Speaking recently, a lot of people thought FTW would show up in GCW. A lot of people think FTW could be that mystery tag team that they're defending the titles at Supercard of Honor. And now this really makes it seem like that could be a reality with this deal.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the support. We love every single one of you. Make sure you engage with the show. Subscribe to the channel. We're well on our way to 27,000 subscribers on our YouTube. And that's thanks to all of you guys. We really appreciate you. Continue showing the love by sharing today's video in your favorite wrestling group, tagging your friends in the comment section so they can join us in the conversation, and smashing that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new stuff and brand new content. Speaking of content, we got a ton of Sportskeeda award stuff right now available on our YouTube. We got interviews with legends, Hall of Famers, and wrestling media personalities sounding off on their votes and picks for this year's inaugural Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. And you can vote by heading over to sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards. Again, that's sportskeeda.com/awards. And we also have a short little video for you guys to enjoy to see who sounded off on all these awards. Here we go.
It's time for the Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. Vote alongside these legends who I think are ready to give us their picks.
All right, suckers, give me your pick for Sportskeeda's Wrestling Awards Male Wrestler of the Year. Vince Russo, you go first.
Male wrestler? Roman Reigns, bro. Acknowledge him, bro.
Bryan Danielson, baby. He had the best deal, no doubt. Dude, it should be Kenny Omega. He's one of a kind, just like me.
Okay, guys, forget the men. The female wrestler of the year has got to be DMD. Dr. Britt Baker, come on.
Big Time Beck deserves it after her big time comeback.
Speaking of comebacks, Brock Lesnar is back on top.
CM Punk had the best comeback, no doubt. Bang!
Yes, but MJF has him on the ropes. You know it, and they know it too.
You know, MJF is so good, you can't turn the channel.
No moment last year was bigger than
Rob Van Dam entering the Hall of Fame.
You kidding me, right?
Yeah.
Better and better.
Come on, man.
He doesn't know when to have
Guys, you have to make up your mind quickly. We don't have much time.
Tell me he did not just say that.
Well, we have heard from the legends, and now it's time to hear from you. Go vote now. Sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards and vote to win exciting prizes.
That's right, guys. So make sure you get your votes in this week. You still got one more week before the polls close. Over 30,000 votes right now on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. You can get your voice heard at sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards. Again, that is sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards.
Little bit of I guess maybe breaking news, you could say, so to speak. But the Undertaker has responded to the news for today. He posted on Twitter about an hour ago that after over 30 years of long roads traveled, countless hours of TV, and one hell of a ride together, couldn't think of anyone better to put me in the Hall of Fame than Vince McMahon. One final ride together, old timer.
Aw, they love each other. It's a bromance, Jeremy.
Bro.
Bro.
I heard bro a lot on Monday, bro.
Yeah, you did. I think you're broed out. All right, let's jump into our last story of the show here. WWE announces their WWE tryouts ahead of WrestleMania in Dallas. Now, I was part of the tryouts back in SummerSlam with Rick Ucchino, where we interviewed a lot of the guys that you're starting to see now on NXT, especially Nikita Lyons. We were one of the first people to interview her before she made her TV debut in WWE's NXT. And now looks like we're going to get another batch of young talent that's looking to get signed by WWE. What's the details here, Jeremy?
According to The Athletic, prior to WrestleMania, March 30th and April 1st at the Ford Center, where the Cowboys headquarters and practice facility are, more than 50 male and female college athletes are expected to participate. This tryout's going to include draft-eligible football players, along with athletes from basketball, track and field, wrestling, volleyball, gymnastics, cheer, and dance. The athletes will go through athletic evaluations, in-ring technical sessions, interviews, and promotional video evaluations, such as cutting a promo. The report notes that WWE also has a presence during the NFL Combine for the upcoming NFL draft talent as well. And I believe that is going on right now, if I'm not mistaken, or getting ready to kick off up in Indy.
Yeah, that's right. McAfee was actually talking quite a bit about the Combine today, but I did not know that WWE was going to have a presence there. It doesn't surprise me, especially now that they're getting into the young college athletics that are coming out. They want to get their hand on those guys,
Like,
so this doesn't really surprise me.
If you don't make a team, give us a call, pal. Yeah,
exactly. This is very interesting. It's always cool to see the really young guns that are about to make, going into the company. It's always cool to see them beforehand and to see how they started. So this should be a good show.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you want to jump into a few questions here before we head out?
Let's do it.
Sound off in the comments right now, guys. Get your questions in. This is going to be a quick flash freestyle Thursday here on the top story.
Warm it up for Friday. Warm up for tomorrow.
Warming up tomorrow. So go ahead and sound off in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the Vince McMahon interview today with Pat McAfee. It was tremendous. If you had not seen it, I highly recommend that you do go see it. I did see a comment regarding that earlier. Donna Marie Evans watching us on Facebook saying, waited a whole hour to see Vince McMahon on the Pat McAfee Show, 1 p.m. and he still wasn't on.
He talked about being late on the thing.
He did. He
says, don't apologize for it either.
Exactly. So Donna, you're gonna have to go to the YouTube and you're gonna have to scroll about 2 hours and 40 minutes ahead, or just wait until the cut comes out, which is already available on Twitter. 1 hour 20 minutes.
Breaking news.
Is this real breaking news?
Cassidy Haynes from bodyslam.net just posting an exclusive. Let's go to the website. Exclusive Cody Rhodes talks with WWE have quote unquote fizzled out. Let's see here. While asking about the purchase of Ring of Honor, sources confirmed that Brandy and Cody Rhodes leaving AEW was a very much real life situation and not a work. Additionally, they were told that the ongoing talks between Cody and WWE, those conversations have fizzled out. One source indicating there's hope that Cody can be brought back to AEW. The idea floated that it might be possible that he could be running Ring of Honor.
Man, well, that was something that some people were discussing in the community of Cody Rhodes running Ring of Honor. Now with this could be a possibility. So it's not quite surprising, but let's see here. Rolling Curtis watching us here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Thank you for support. Watching us on the super chat, asking us. Since McMahon already inducted Stone Cold, I wish that somebody else would induct Taker, but I can't think of anybody better than Vince.
Yeah, I mean, Kane maybe, but I mean, when it comes down to it, 30 years of a relationship, and outside of Paul Bearer, who unfortunately is not with us anymore, it's got to be Vince. It just got to be.
Yeah,
but wow, that immediately you wonder if he'll run Ring of Honor, if they bring him back after he takes some time off to be a father. I mean, hell, that just opens up a whole new door now that WWE sounds like it may not be on the table now anymore.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't pay attention to the chatter until it's here. Victor Nash watching us on Facebook. Jose, I'm late, but did you guys report about the WWE shutting down everything in Russia? We have not, and I didn't really discuss it because I really didn't want to keep playing into the conflict that's going on that side of the world. That's not that type of energy that we're trying to bring here into the live stream. Even I seen some of you guys really didn't want to talk about it in the chats, so I respect that. And we want to try to keep this environment free from that energy and just kind of focus on at the task at hand, which is wrestling. But that is big news. You know, the entire world is shutting, is isolating away from Russia because of the conflict that's going on over there and the things that have been happening. So this isn't exactly a surprise, as many other entertainment venues, companies, and sports have secluded themselves from Russia as well. So this isn't exactly surprising, but I did see that. Again, I didn't want to bring that energy, but we are acknowledging it. But with that being said, we're not going to really talk about that here in our space here. Let's jump into some more comments here, more questions. Let's see if Finn Balor.
Wow, what a!
I don't think this is the real Finn Balor, but if it
what
is,
an honor!
Thank you for joining us. All right, I thank you. He's watching, and if this is one Fergal Devitt, thanks a lot for all the love and support you've been showing towards me and my brand. It means more than you can imagine. That's why on behalf of myself and WWE, we say a big thank you and lots of love.
I don't think Balor would be using the emoji with the heart kiss.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. But hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
I don't see a blue check mark next to his name either.
There's no blue check mark, so yeah, I don't think so. Let's see what else we got here. Ricky Castillo, imagine if Tony hires Regal to run Ring of Honor.
I thought of that as well. I ran by that with my podcast co-host as well. I go, hey, if this Tony thing goes down, which it has, this would be a good spot to put Regal in.
Yeah, and I think the fan base will receive him with open arms. I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of The Top Story. We had a lot to get into, especially with that big news with Vince McMahon, and now there's breaking news with Cody. We're going to have some more details as that news develops throughout the night. Tonight, we got the Bro Show. That's going to be live on Instagram. That's going to be at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be DDP, Vince Russo, and Dr. Chris Featherstone. So make sure you check them out. That's tonight. Tomorrow night, we got Smack Talk with Dirty Dutch Mantel, SP3, and Rick Ucchino, covering everything that you need to know on SmackDown, and the Go Home Show for AEW's Revolution, AEW Rampage. So make sure you check that out tomorrow. Every Monday night, it's Legion of Raw with Vince Russo and Chris Featherstone, and Wednesday night, the debrief with myself, Enrico El Glorioso, and every single day of the week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch myself and Jeremy and Kevin Kellam here on The Top Story, covering the top headlines of the world of wrestling every single day. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're all well on our way to 27,000. We can't get there without you. And make sure you vote at the Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. Go ahead and do that now. You still got one more week to do that, so get your votes in right now. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a Freestyle Friday edition of The Top Story. For Jeremy Bennett, I'm Jose G. And remember, guys, when you're watching wrestling, you got to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
You got to enjoy wrestling, and that is not an insult. That is a fact of life. Yeah!
Talk to them.
Let me talk to you.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!